Welcome back to Joy Recaps, Movie Stories Recapped here. Today, I'm going to recap an American thriller horror film called The Human Centipede 2. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. This film, like Part 1, is quite disturbing. If you dislike disturbing scenes, this film is not for you. However, the entire film is in black and white. Then we see a man watching the movie The Human Centipede on his laptop. Martin is his name. He was about 40 years old and looked quite fat. He suffered from asthma, and everyone thought he was a useless person. He worked at the parking lot tool in London. He had seen the film The Human Centipede several times. Then he notices a movement in the parking CCTV footage. When he looks around, he notices a young couple fighting in the parking lot. Ian was the name of the boy. He was driving his father's car, to which he had lost the keys. Martin approaches the couple with an iron rod. Ian believes Martin came here to break his car lock, for which he curses him. After hearing his insult, he pulls out the gun he had hidden in his pocket. With this gun, he shoots Ian's foot. Ian's friend screams loudly when he sees this. When Martin notices this, he shoots her in the stomach as well. He then strikes them on the head with the same iron rod. They immediately pass out. Then Martin arrives in his car. He loads them both into his car. He returns to his room and resumes watching The Human Centipede. Martin, too, has a book. He places his hand on the book, which only contained images of the movie The Human Centipede and its actress. Then he gets in his truck and drives to the house he just rented. When the landlord demands payment, he strikes him with the same iron rod. Later, he invites Ian and a friend to this house. They were firmly taped together. Martin then takes a scissor and tears out Ian's friend's clothes, removing all of her clothes. Then the acting management company dials Martin. They inform him that the actresses from The Human Centipede will be unable to attend the London auditions because they are extremely busy and do not have a single free day. They cut the call after saying this. The next morning, Martin is shown in his home. He was naked and asleep in his bed. Just then, his mother appears, screams, and wakes him up because he was sleeping and had a doctor's appointment today. His mother then leaves the room. After his mother has left, he returns to his book, gets dressed, and goes outside. He used to start his day by feeding his pet centipede, and then he would go to his doctor. Outside, Martin's mother was telling his doctor that I frequently heard the word Martin. We're talking about a 12-person centipede. In response, the doctor claims that Martin may feel the pain of the centipede's bite. His father sexually abused him when he was younger. As a result, the children's rights team sent him to jail. Martin's mother, however, blamed Martin for this. Her doctor didn't care because he had also sexually abused Martin, taking advantage of his mental illness. That is why Martin disliked and despised that doctor. Martin and his mother are having lunch, according to the doctor. Then his mother tells him that she is still upset about Martin. Thinking about it, she decided to murder both Martin and herself. Martin's mother is greatly disturbed when loud music begins to play from the upper floor of their house. She begins to hit the roof. People who live nearby can hear this noise. In fact, there is an aggressive bodybuilder who lives there. As he approaches, he beats Martin, then flees. Martin sustains serious injuries. Martin had seen the Human Centipede several times after that. He acts like Dr. Joseph, and, like him, wears a lab coat. Then he copies Dr. Joseph's surgery drawing in his notebook. Then he abducts two people from the parking lot. That man's wife was expecting a child. He later kidnaps two more girls. He takes them to a house where he has been keeping other people. First and foremost, he takes their clothes off. He arranges them in a vertical line. After all of his efforts, Martin suffers from an asthma attack. He returns to normal after inhaling medicine through his pump. The acting management company then calls him again. They now say that the actresses Rachel and Yenni from the film The Human Centipede are ready to come for the audition. They are on their way to London. They do this because Martin recently informed them that he is an agent for the director of this film, Quentin Tarantino. Tarantino is so taken with the actresses from The Human Centipede that he wants to make a sequel with them. Its audition was held in London. Tarantino is a well-known American director. He is well known throughout the world for his disturbing films. Then the scene of Martin arriving home at midnight is shown. He notices that his mother is attempting to murder him. Martin, on the other hand, understands his mother's will. Martin's mother discovers the book with the details of the Human Centipede under his bed. In the same book, he mentioned 12 people on whom he plans to perform a centipede operation. His intentions are revealed to her mother. She becomes enraged and rips the book apart. When he sees this, Martin becomes very upset. Then, dressed in his lab coat, Martin bites his mother with his pet centipedes. He repeatedly hits his mother on the head with a rod. As a result, his mother dies at this point. He eats his lunch alongside his mother's dead body. When the upper floor bodybuilder arrives, Martin injures him with the same rod. He then shoots his own doctor in a parking lot after all of this. Then he kidnaps his own driver and a local girl. He transports them to his rented home. Just then, he receives a message from actress Yenni informing him that she will arrive in London at 6 p.m. Martin arrives at the airport on time to pick up Yenni. Yenni was overjoyed to attend Quentin Tarantino's audition, but she was unaware of Martin's thoughts. She was unaware of his plans. Martin drives Yenni to that location. He hits her with the iron rod as she walks in, and she faints. He takes some surgical instruments and the painting from his bag. Martin had 12 people in attendance. He planned to build a human centipede model like Dr. Joseph. To begin, he, like Dr. Joseph, makes marks on everyone's body. He then pulls out their knee ligaments. He does not do this by performing surgery or injecting anesthesia into them. He was only employing 2 minor tools, a hammer and a knife. Then he pulls each of their teeth out one by one. Everyone was screaming, but because they were bound with a strong rope, they couldn't stop themselves. First and foremost, Martin slashes the skin of a man's hip. His blood, however, is wasted, and he dies on the spot. Marin becomes enraged after witnessing this incident. After that, with the exception of the pregnant lady, he ties everyone up like a human centipede. He stitches one person's face to the back of another and then his backside to the face of the third. He does this with a stapler. He staples them one by one and tapes them together so that no one can separate them. Finally, he joins them and forms a 10-person centipede. Yenni was first in line, and he, like the doctor, only fed Yenni, but she refuses to eat. He then gets a pipe and a funnel and starts feeding her with them. He gets a call from acting management saying that other actors from the Human Centipede film are coming in for an audition. When Yenni screamed loudly, Martin was on the phone. He becomes agitated and uses a scissor to cut her tongue. Her tongue begins to bleed. Martin administers laxatives to them. As a result, they have thin stools. He administers an injection to constipation patients in order to clear their stomach. They all get thin stools all of a sudden. First and foremost, Martin enjoys this scene, but this scene was so disturbing and filthy that he began vomiting as well. The pregnant lady, who was not a part of the centipede, feels pain at that moment. She flees and gets into a car. In this car, she gives birth to a child. Marin's centipede, on the other hand, was becoming disjointed as it broke and everyone separated. He becomes enraged when he sees this and murders everyone by severing their throats. When he approaches Yenni to kill her, she strikes him in the middle of his legs, knocking him down. She inserts his pet centipede into his backside using a funnel. As a result, he begins to suffer greatly and falls to the ground. Then we see Martin, who is sitting in his parking lot watching the human centipede. The moral of the story is that everyone thought Martin was useless because of his mental illness. That's why he was so taken with Dr. Joseph and wanted to create his own human centipede in his image. But he insisted on conducting the experiment with 12 people. Whatever Martin did, whether it was his imagination or he actually created a centipede, he was rewatching his favorite movie, The Human Centipede, at work.